In the heart of a charming little village, there stood a whimsical candy shop called Sweet Delights. The shop was a rainbow of colors, with jars of candies lining the shelves and the delicious scent of sugar wafting through the air. This magical place was run by Mrs. Sugarplum, a kind-hearted woman who loved to see children smile. But Mrs. Sugarplum wasn't the only one who adored the candy shop. A tiny mouse named Hammy had made Sweet Delights his home. Hammy was a plump little mouse with soft gray fur and twinkling eyes that lit up whenever he saw a piece of candy. One morning, Hammy woke up to find the shop buzzing with excitement. Colorful banners hung from the ceiling, and a large sign read, "Happy Candy Day." Mrs. Sugarplum was busily arranging trays of candy, her face beaming with joy. "Candy Day!" Hammy squeaked, his eyes wide with delight. "It's my favorite day of the year!" Candy Day was a special celebration where Mrs. Sugarplum gave out free candy to all the children in the village. It was a day filled with laughter, joy, and of course, lots of sweets. Hammy had always dreamed of celebrating Candy Day, but he knew he had to be careful not to get caught. As the day went on, children flooded into the shop, their eyes sparkling with excitement. Mrs. Sugarplum handed out candy canes, lollipops, chocolates, and gummy bears. Hammy watched from his hiding spot, his tiny nose twitching with anticipation. When the shop finally closed for the day, Mrs. Sugarplum left a small basket of candies on the counter for Hammy. She always made sure to leave him a little treat. "Happy Candy Day, Hammy," Mrs. Sugarplum said softly, smiling as she turned off the lights and left the shop. Hammy scampered out of his hole and climbed onto the counter, his heart swelling with happiness. The basket was filled with all his favorite candies, chewy caramels, jelly beans, and even a few pieces of fudge. Hammy's eyes sparkled as he looked at the sweet bounty before him. "Oh, thank you, Mrs. Sugarplum," Hammy squeaked with joy. "This is the best candy day ever." Hammy decided to celebrate in style. He gathered his mouse friends from the nooks and crannies of the village and invited them to the candy shop. One by one they appeared, Minnie, Squeaky, and Whiskers, all excited to join the celebration. Together, they had a grand Candy Day party. They danced on the counter, played hide-and-seek among the candy jars, and shared the delicious treats Mrs. Sugarplum had left for Hammy. The little shop was filled with the sounds of happy mice, their tiny feet pattering and their high-pitched squeaks of delight. As the night drew to a close, Hammy and his friends curled up in a warm corner, their bellies full and their hearts content. Hammy looked around at his friends in the cozy candy shop, feeling incredibly grateful. "This has been the best candy day ever," Hammy whispered, a smile on his face. And so, in the quiet of the night, the tiny mouse and his friends drifted off to sleep, dreaming sweet dreams of candies and friendship. From that day on, Hammy knew that the true magic of Candy Day wasn't just about the sweets, but the joy of sharing it with those you love. In the heart of a lush green forest, where the trees whispered secrets to the wind and streams sang cheerful songs, lived a playful monkey named David and a mighty tiger named Zoe. Despite their differences, David and Zoe were the best of friends, always finding new ways to explore and enjoy their beautiful home. One sunny morning, David swung from tree to tree, his eyes scanning the forest floor for his friend. "Zoe, Zoe, where are you?" he called out, his voice echoing through the forest. Zoe, who had been lounging by a sparkling stream, lifted his head and let out a gentle roar. "I'm over here, David." David quickly found Zoe and jumped down from a branch, landing gracefully beside him. "I have a great idea for an adventure today, Zoe. Let's explore the hidden valley. I've heard it's filled with beautiful flowers and mysterious caves." Zoe's eyes sparkled with excitement. "That sounds wonderful, David. Let's go." The two friends set off, with David leading the way through the treetops and Zoe padding silently on the forest floor. They laughed and chatted as they made their way deeper into the forest, enjoying the sights and sounds around them. As they approached the hidden valley, the forest grew denser and the path became more challenging. Vines hung low, and thick underbrush slowed their progress. But David and Zoe were determined. "Stay close, Zoe," David said, his voice filled with excitement. "We're almost there!" Finally, they reached the edge of the hidden valley. It was even more beautiful than they had imagined. Flowers of every color blanketed the ground, and towering trees created a canopy of dappled sunlight. In the distance, they could see the entrance to a large cave, its dark mouth inviting them to explore further. "Wow!" Zoe breathed, looking around in awe. "This place is incredible!" David nodded, his eyes wide with wonder. "It really is! Let's go check out that cave." The two friends approached the cave, but as they got closer, David noticed something troubling. The ground near the cave entrance was unstable, and rocks were scattered around, indicating recent landslides. "Be careful, Zoe," David warned. "The ground looks dangerous." Zoe nodded and stepped cautiously, his large paws avoiding the loose rocks. David climbed onto Zoe's back for a better view, his nimble fingers gripping Zoe's fur tightly. As they ventured deeper into the cave, the light grew dimmer and the air cooler. Suddenly, they heard a faint cry for help. It was coming from a small trapped bird, its wing caught under a fallen rock. "Oh no, we have to help it!" David exclaimed, jumping off Zoe's back. Zoe nodded and carefully approached the bird. Using his powerful paws, he gently lifted the rock, freeing the trapped creature. David quickly checked the bird's wing, making sure it wasn't broken. Thank you, the bird chirped, fluttering its wings experimentally. "I don't know how long I would have been stuck there if it weren't for you two." David smiled. "We're just glad we could help. Be careful next time." The bird nodded and flew off, grateful for its newfound freedom. David and Zoe watched it go, feeling proud of their good deed. "See, Zoe? Helping others is always the right thing to do," David said, his eyes shining with satisfaction. Zoe purred in agreement. "You're right, David, and we make a great team." As they left the cave, the sun was beginning to set, casting a warm golden light over the hidden valley. David and Zoe made their way back home, feeling tired but happy after their adventure. When they reached their favorite spot by the stream, David climbed onto a branch, and Zoe settled down beside him. "Today was amazing," David said, looking down at his friend. "We explored a new place, helped someone in need, and had a lot of fun." Zoe nodded, his eyes half closed in contentment. "It was a great day, and we learned an important lesson too." David tilted his head. "What's that, Zoe?" Zoe smiled. "That true friends always help each other and others, no matter the challenge. And together, we can overcome anything." David grinned and nodded. "Absolutely, Zoe. Together, we're unstoppable." As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, David and Zoe drifted off to sleep, dreaming of their next adventure. And in the heart of the forest, their friendship continued to grow, stronger and brighter with each passing day. In a cozy cottage on the outskirts of a peaceful village, a curious cat named Bo and his mischievous friend, a tiny mouse named Sammy, lived together in harmony. Bo, a sleek orange tabby with bright green eyes, and Sammy, a small gray mouse with a twitchy nose, were the best of friends, always finding new ways to enjoy their time together. One clear, starry night, Bo and Sammy were sitting by the window, gazing up at the night sky. The stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet blanket, and the full moon cast a gentle glow over the garden outside. "Look at all those stars, Sammy," Bo exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. "Aren't they beautiful?" "They sure are, Bo," Sammy replied, twitching his whiskers. "I wonder what it would be like to be up there among them." Bo and Sammy often enjoyed stargazing, imagining all sorts of adventures in the vast expanse of the sky. But tonight felt special, almost magical. Bo had an idea. "Hey, Sammy, do you want to go outside and play under the stars?" Bo asked, his tail flicking with excitement. Sammy's eyes lit up. "That sounds like fun, Bo. Let's go." The two friends slipped out of the cottage and into the garden. The cool night air was refreshing, and the garden looked enchanting under the moonlight. Bo led the way to their favorite spot, a small clearing surrounded by tall flowers and soft grass. As they reached the clearing, Bo flopped onto his back, gazing up at the sky. Sammy climbed onto Bo's belly, lying down comfortably as he looked up at the stars. "This is the best view ever," Sammy said with a sigh of contentment. Bo purred in agreement. "It really is. I feel like we're part of the night sky, Sammy." For a while, they simply lay there, enjoying the serene beauty of the night. The stars seemed to dance above them, and Bo and Sammy felt a deep sense of peace. After a while, Bo rolled over and gently nudged Sammy. "Hey, want to play a game?" Sammy perked up. "Sure, what game?" Bo thought for a moment, then his eyes sparkled with an idea. "How about a game of tag? But with a twist! We'll play tag while jumping over the moonbeams." Sammy's eyes widened with excitement. "That sounds amazing! You're it, Bo!" With that, Sammy scurried off, his tiny legs moving swiftly over the grass. Bo sprang to his feet and chased after him, their laughter filling the night air. They leaped over moonbeams, their movements light and graceful. Bo's paws barely touched the ground as he tried to catch Sammy, who darted and zigzagged to avoid being tagged. "You're fast, Sammy!" Bo called out, laughing. Sammy grinned, his little feet moving quickly. "You'll have to be faster if you want to catch me, Bo." The game continued, with Bo and Sammy weaving through the garden, their playful energy creating a magical atmosphere. They took turns being it, and each time one of them was tagged, they would burst into laughter and start all over again. Eventually, they grew tired and decided to rest by their favorite tree, a large oak with wide branches that provided the perfect canopy. Bo lay down, and Sammy snuggled up beside him, both of them panting slightly from their energetic game. "That was so much fun, Bo," Sammy said, his eyes sparkling. Bo purred softly. "It really was. I love playing with you, Sammy." As they rested, they noticed the sky beginning to change. The first hints of dawn were appearing, painting the horizon with shades of pink and orange. "Look, Sammy, the sun is coming up," Bo said, nudging his friend gently. Sammy yawned and stretched. "It's so beautiful, Bo. I'm glad we stayed up to see it." They watched in awe as the sky transformed, the stars gradually fading, and the sun rising to greet the new day. The garden, bathed in the golden light of dawn, looked even more magical. Bo and Sammy felt a deep sense of contentment. They knew that no matter how many adventures they had, the simple moments of wonder and joy they shared were the most precious. As the sun climbed higher, Bo and Sammy made their way back to the cottage. They were tired but happy, their hearts full of the magic of the night. "Time for a nap, I think," Bo said, stifling a yawn. Sammy nodded, his eyes drooping. "Yeah, a nap sounds perfect." They curled up together in their cozy bed, Bo wrapping his tail around Sammy protectively. As they drifted off to sleep, they dreamed of stars, moonbeams, and the endless adventures they would have together. And so, in their little cottage on the outskirts of the village, Bo and Sammy continued to live their lives filled with love, laughter, and the simple joys of friendship. Every night, they would look up at the stars and remember their magical adventure, knowing that as long as they had each other, their lives would always be filled with wonder and delight. In a bustling village surrounded by lush fields and tall trees, lived a clever crow named Juju. Juju was not like any ordinary crow. He was known for his sharp mind and quick wit. But Juju had a habit that made him both famous and notorious among the villagers. He loved to steal food from their homes. Every morning, as the sun rose and the villagers went about their day, Juju would perch on a high branch, scanning the village for his next target. His shiny black feathers glistened in the sunlight, and his bright eyes twinkled with mischief. One sunny day, Juju spotted a delicious pie cooling on the windowsill of Mrs. Baker's house. "That pie looks too tasty to resist," Juju thought, flapping his wings and flying over to the window. Using his keen sense of timing, Juju waited until Mrs. Baker turned her back. Quick as a flash, he swooped down, grabbed the pie in his beak, and flew off to his favorite tree. He gobbled up the pie, feeling proud of his successful heist. However, Juju's antics didn't go unnoticed. The villagers were getting tired of his tricks. "That pesky crow stole my pie!" Mrs. Baker exclaimed, shaking her fist at the sky. "We need to find a way to outsmart him." The villagers gathered in the town square to come up with a plan. "Juju is clever, but if we work together, we can beat him at his own game," said Mr. Carpenter. They decided to set a trap for Juju using his favorite treat: shiny objects. The villagers placed a glittering necklace on a table outside the blacksmith's shop, hiding a net above it. They watched from a distance, waiting for Juju to take the bait. Juju, always curious, noticed the sparkling necklace almost immediately. "What a beautiful trinket! It will look splendid in my nest," he thought. He circled the table cautiously, not sensing any danger. Just as Juju was about to grab the necklace, he noticed something odd. The way the villagers were hiding and watching made him suspicious. Using his quick wits, Juju devised a plan. He picked up a small rock and dropped it onto the necklace from a distance. Snap! The net fell, trapping the necklace, but leaving Juju safe and sound. The villagers gasped in surprise as Juju cawed with laughter from a nearby tree. "You may be clever, Juju, but we won't give up!" shouted Mr. Carpenter. Juju flapped his wings and flew down to the villagers. "You all worked so hard to catch me, and I admire your effort," he said. "I promise to stop stealing your food if you agree to share with me. I get very hungry, you know." The villagers, seeing that Juju was willing to make a deal, agreed. From then on, they left small offerings of food on a special platform for Juju. In return, Juju used his cleverness to help the villagers in many ways, like finding lost items and warning them of approaching storms. Juju and the villagers lived in harmony, and the clever crow's days of stealing food came to an end. Instead, Juju became a beloved member of the village, always ready with a smart solution and a playful caw. And so, Juju's cleverness brought not just tricks and treats, but friendship and trust, making the village a happier place for all. In the heart of a vast and colorful jungle, there lived an enormous elephant named Zack. Zack was kind-hearted, with big floppy ears and a gentle trunk that he used to help his friends. His best friend was a clever bird named Zulu, who had bright blue feathers and sharp eyes that could spot the tiniest details from high above the trees. One sunny morning, Zack and Zulu decided to go on an adventure. They had heard about a hidden lake deep in the jungle that sparkled like 1,000,000 diamonds. Excitedly, they set off together, with Zack lumbering along the forest floor and Zulu fluttering above, keeping an eye out for any signs of trouble. As they made their way through the jungle, they came across a narrow, rickety bridge that spanned a deep ravine. Zack hesitated, unsure if the bridge could hold his weight. "Don't worry, Zack," Zulu chirped from above. "I'll fly over first and make sure it's safe." Zulu flew across the bridge, inspecting each wooden plank carefully. "It's old, but it looks sturdy enough," Zulu called out. "Just take it slow and steady." Zack took a deep breath and stepped onto the bridge, moving cautiously. With Zulu's encouragement and guidance, Zack made it safely to the other side. "See? We can do anything if we work together," Zulu said, landing on Zack's back. As they continued their journey, they heard a faint cry for help. Following the sound, they discovered a young monkey named Milo, stuck in a thorny bush, unable to free himself. "Hold on, Milo, we'll help you," Zack said. He reached out with his strong trunk, carefully pulling the thorns away while Zulu flew around, offering words of comfort to the frightened monkey. "Thank you, Zack and Zulu," Milo said once he was free. "I was trying to reach that fruit tree over there, but I got stuck." "Why don't you join us on our adventure?" Zack suggested. "We're going to find the hidden lake." Milo agreed, and the three friends set off together. They soon reached a dense part of the jungle, where the path was blocked by fallen branches and thick undergrowth. "This looks tough," Milo said, looking worried. "Don't worry, Milo. Zach said with a smile. "I'll clear the way." Using his powerful trunk, Zach moved the branches aside, creating a path for his friends. Zulu flew ahead, scouting the best route, and Milo followed closely behind, feeling safer with his new friends. Finally, they arrived at the hidden lake. The water sparkled like diamonds, just as they had heard. They played and splashed in the cool water, enjoying the beautiful scenery and each other's company. As the sun began to set, they sat by the lake, reflecting on their adventure. "Today was amazing," Milo said, looking up at the sky. "It sure was," Zach agreed, "and it taught us something important." "What's that?" Zulu asked, tilting his head. "That by working together and helping each other, we can overcome any challenge," Zach said with a wise nod. Zulu chirped in agreement. "And it's always good to be kind and help those in need, just like we did with Milo." Milo smiled. "I'm so glad I met you both. Today, I learned the true value of friendship and teamwork." As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Zach, Zulu, and Milo made their way back home, their hearts full of the day's adventures and the important lessons they had learned. From that day on, they knew that no matter what challenges they faced, they could always count on each other. And so, in the heart of the jungle, the unlikely trio remained the best of friends, ready for any adventure that came their way, knowing that together, they were unstoppable.